Yeah, it looks like one you're gonna have ready.
I'd say the most difficult scene to film emotionally was the scene where Hook decides to sacrifice himself to the darkness, asks me to kill him in order to save everyone. We actually ended up shooting that scene twice just because of time. And it was just the stakes were so high and it was so emotional and it was such a heartbreaking scene. So I think, it was hard in the sense that it all felt very real and it felt very genuine, but, you shoot something for hours and hours and hours and you sustain that level of being upset. So I would say that was probably the most draining, but also really rewarding. I mean, in a weird way, I'd say it was one of the hardest scenes and also one of the most rewarding scenes.
The most physically challenging of all the scenes I've had to do is probably in season 1, where the castle was being destroyed. It was the most windy day I've ever worked in. It was like bone-chillingly cold, but it was crazy. It really was.
The second episode in the first season when Regina has to kill her father. That was the hardest scene to shoot.
I mean, there's been many challenging scenes to film on Once Upon a Time. Emotionally, I would probably say when Snow and Charming split their hearts. That was emotionally pretty tough. And just in pure hilarity, riding a gigantic pickle that I had to pretend was a dragon.
Probably is, I've got to be honest, we were in the GVRD, which is in North Vancouver, and it's on the blooper reel for season 2, I think, when Robert Carlyle very proudly landed right in a very sensitive area of mine, and it was lashing rain, and I'd been lying in the rain for probably 7 hours, and that was the most challenging. Cheers, Bobby. Love you.
The scene that's probably the most emotionally challenging was when Robin left Regina at the town line, and there's a sort of tearful goodbye. That was kind of an emotional day and an emotional scene. And I liked how the scene looked. It was a good episode. So that's probably the first thing that comes to mind.
I think one of the most challenging scenes I ever had to shoot was when I had to come from the ceiling on a broomstick, fly through the air, jump off my broomstick in a harness, and then deliver like a one-page speech to 8 people. Because if I didn't do it right, I have to start and go all the way back to the beginning again. I don't know how I pulled it off, but I jump off and go, "Hello everyone, I'm here to tell you what's going on." It was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my career.